All right, so every year, the world's most powerful people head to the Swiss Alps for the World Economic Forum. But this year, in 2026, you could feel it in the air. One topic, just one, was dominating every single conversation: artificial intelligence.
And this quote from the historian Yuval Noah Harari just perfectly set the stage. He basically said, look, we're not just talking about a smarter piece of software anymore. The whole conversation shifted. We're talking about a new kind of entity on the world stage. And that idea, it colored absolutely everything they came after.
So for 5 straight days, you had over 3,000 leaders talking about everything from the global economy to geopolitics, and AI was at the center of it all. And a single central theme started to emerge almost immediately: this intense battle between wild optimism and some really, really deep caution.
Yeah, on one side, you had this incredible buzz, this excitement about how AI could turbocharge innovation and maybe even solve some of our biggest problems. But on the other side, there's this very real fear. Fear about jobs, about ethics, and the big one, who's really in the driver's seat? This tension, this push and pull, was the real story of Davos.
So where did this huge debate kick off? Well, where else? With money, the economy. The big question on the table was, is AI this incredible engine for growth that's going to lift everyone up? Or is it about to create a world that's more unequal than ever before?
NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang was leading the charge for the optimists. He said, we have to stop thinking about AI as just an application. No, he said it's core infrastructure. Think about it like electricity or the internet. It's not just one thing. It's the thing that's going to power everything, boosting every industry you can imagine.
And then Microsoft's Satya Nadella took it a step further. He said, okay, the time for just showing off these cool wow demos, that's over. Now it's all about what he called agentic AI. I mean, think about it. These are systems that don't just help you do something, they can do it for you. So instead of an AI finding you flight deals, it plans and books your entire vacation based on what it knows you like. That's the game-changing shift he's talking about.
And this wasn't just talk from tech CEOs. The World Economic Forum, the hosts of the whole event, dropped a new report that backed it up. They found real measurable economic gains in dozens of countries. But, and this is a big but, it came with this huge warning sign, basically saying if we don't handle this right, all that new wealth could just end up widening the gap between the rich and everyone else.
Which, of course, leads us straight to the question that's probably on your mind, because it was on everyone's mind there. What is all of this going to do to our jobs?
The head of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, was incredibly blunt about it. She didn't pull any punches. She called AI a tsunami coming for the labor market. A tsunami that could impact a mind-boggling 40% of all jobs. And she said it's the middle class that's right in the path of the wave.
And this really shows you the two camps. You've got the business leaders like Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan who are saying, hey, relax. Yes, things will change, but AI is going to create whole new industries and jobs we can't even dream of yet. But then, on the other side, you have the IMF and union leaders saying, wait a minute, what about the human cost right now? They're pointing to people already losing their jobs to automation and asking who's going to get left behind.
But believe it or not, the debate didn't even stop at jobs. It went bigger. It went to the ultimate question: the race to build artificial general intelligence, AGI. We're talking about an AI that isn't just smart at one thing, but can think and learn and reason just like a human, or maybe even better.
I mean, just look at these timelines they were throwing around. They are wild. Elon Musk is out here saying an AI could be smarter than any one person by next year, and smarter than all of us put together by 2035. Demis Hassabis from DeepMind thinks there's a 50-50 shot we hit AGI before this decade is even over. It's just staggering stuff.
But, okay, not everyone was on that hype train. You had key figures like Yann LeCun, who's literally one of the godfathers of modern AI, tapping the brakes. He was basically saying, everybody, let's take a breath. He's a lot more skeptical that true human-level AGI is just around the corner.
And you can see why people are so passionate, because the stakes are just seen as astronomically high. The CEO of Anthropic, Dario Momodi, he made this really chilling comparison. He said that the most advanced AI chips are like nuclear material. His point was that this technology is so powerful, we can't let individual companies or even countries control it. It needs global oversight, just like nuclear weapons.
So away from all the sci-fi sounding debates, they also talked about what's stopping all this from happening tomorrow. And interestingly, the biggest roadblock isn't even the chips, it's power. Just the sheer amount of electricity these things need is a huge problem. And on top of that, you've got this new political issue, sovereign AI, where every country now wants its own AI systems, its own data, its own control.
So after 5 days of this intense debate, this back and forth, it all came down to a pretty simple question. Okay, now what? Where do we possibly go from here?
And one person at the conference just put their finger on the single biggest challenge we face. They asked this question. Technology is growing exponentially. It's exploding, but our governments, our laws, our ways of thinking, they move in a straight line. They're linear. How on earth do we bridge that gap?
Because in the end, that's what it all comes down to. The talking is easy. The debates in a fancy Swiss resort are one thing. But the real test, the only thing that matters, is whether all that talk gets turned into real-world action, into policies and rules that can somehow balance all this incredible potential with all the very real risks.
And maybe the whole week was summed up by this final thought from Elon Musk. It's a really provocative idea, right? He's asking, when you're facing a future that is this big and this unknown, is it better to be a hopeful optimist, even if you might be wrong? Or is it smarter to be a cautious pessimist and end up being right? It's a question with no easy answer, and it's the question everyone at Davos, and now all of us, are left to wrestle with.